You've probably seen the image, the typical Norwegian tradition of putting the.
Oh, let me pull that one up.
on
That is the best tradition. Yeah, I love that one. Let me pull the image. I have it somewhere. This is this Norwegian tradition that the winner opens the gold foil, and then they use it as a what do you call those?
Coaster.
Yeah, that
coaster,
one.
Yeah.
So that's what usually people have beer. You had ananas juice here.
Pineapple juice. Yeah.
Pineapple juice. Yeah.
And what I'll say, that pineapple juice, holy shit, that carried. If I ever go pro and I'm looking for a sponsor, that's it. Man, that
The
helped.
fresh pineapple juice is the god. That is the drink of the high heavens. But you also have like really fucking nice pull though. That one.
It is.
Oh lord. Yeah, how you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. It's my pleasure to be here. You've basically been my teacher for this entire thing, so this is this is full closure. This is absolutely fantastic. So it's genuinely great to be with you here.
I'm glad to hear. And like the thing I taught you, the only thing I've taught you is that you should win. Wasn't that the case?
Yeah. I top 8 my road to nationals, and you were like, "Hey, that's great. Top 8, a bigger event next." I think it's top 8 nationals next, or calling or something. Like, probably not calling. That's bigger. I'm not quite too certain about that certain tournament structure at some points, but yeah, that's just how it went down, and it worked out, and
yeah, because
huge Acilio stonks.
Yeah, it is. This has been a fantastic system, but it's the same advice that I got from my friend that you should just win. So that's been working out pretty well, that advice. So I had to share it. Everyone out there, just win. Yeah, but let's go through your list real quick. Like we got here pulled up. I chose to show this from the official site because I think it's cooler, even though like the formatting you can't see like the other pictures, but it seems like you're mostly familiar people watching with the cars that have been deployed here to this list. There is some tweaks here. We'll probably discuss those, but yeah, so equipments, we got the normal suit. Do you have anything? Oh, you have no rune hood. Okay. Anything you want to say about the equipments?
Of course, that's more relevant to the meta than anything. I expected more verdants than what was there. Verdants, Florian. Well, no rune hood's not that good in the Florian, and I also respected up to 3 Kanos, I believe.
Okay.
They didn't turn out to be any, and I didn't use the no rune hood at all because I didn't meet any of the verdances.
Okay.
So it just kind of was there. Really not much else. The biggest MVP, Old Knocker and Burn Bear.
Hell yeah.
God, I love Burn Bear.
It is so good, isn't it?
Equipment first.
Yeah.
It's so good. But we can talk about the rest of... Well, I guess there's not really much more to talk about.
Not really much, unless you have something hidden you've learned about Old Knocker that you want to share. But it's just...
It blocks one, you can shock your opponent in their turn. It's just slightly better than Blossoming, unless you commit to Greaves after connecting with Flash or something. Like it's just good. It's so great.
It is. I agree. It's a good upgrade for us. Another Trough Chaff for the Wizards. Let's go.
Gotta love it.
Then Burn Bear. It seemed like you have a lot to talk about this one.
Oh, I love Burn Bear so much. It's been so good. At first I was like, I mean, it's a 3-for-6. I come from a bunch of different games. It doesn't seem that great to me. But when I realized it was really, really good, was when one of my opponents complained about it. I went eclectic. I pitched another card to cast Burn Bear, and he was just out of his this is unfair, right? And
yeah,
the biggest tell when a card is good is when your opponent thinks it's unfair. It's just amazing, and turning around the Prism matchup as well. It's a blessing.
Yeah, it just compresses our sideboard quite a lot too, because I see you got Cliff Overlay here, which I did as well. So that's also thanks for Burn Bear. And also like partly the meta as well. If there would be CYB decks, I think I would play like 1 or 2 Glyph on top of this. But like Burn Bear, it fits fantastically as the big spell. It's an on-rate arcane thing.
Yeah, basically, especially with Volstar, if you can use that in the same turn.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. That's very tall.
It's a bit too tall at times, but
yeah. It really is.
Did you see the picture of Prism versus I think it was Verdance, where they drew 3 burn bears, and the Prism was like, oh, okay, and they played every aura in their deck to the board.
I have not seen it, but that sounds pretty good.
Okay, I'll try to find it as we go through this, but yeah,
because that is of course the one. Yeah, the one downside with burn bear is drawing them in multiple in pairs. I think I drew 2 burn bears going first into a Prism matchup once and didn't have a blue, so I just kind of arsenaled them past. And I mean, it's not great, but burn bear is still just so good in the matchup that it doesn't really hurt that much.
No, I agree.
But I've kind of just like taking 2 burn bears in whenever I'm going first. Drawing it on the turn 0 as well is just.
Oh, whenever you go first, great. Almost always.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I've kind of just been vibing with it.
Okay.
It blocks 3 as well.
True. So that's good food for thought. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that there's like still things to be explored with solo sideboarding when going first and second. I think it's a fair assessment that it changes depending.
Yeah, you're most definitely right on that. It is complicated, and it always also just depends on how you actually draw it. Even if you think this would be good there and there, suddenly something else happens. You enter a simplified kind of game state, and then burn bear is just incredible again.
Yeah.
So it just kind of goes around. But yeah, glyph overlay
missing.
Yeah, it is missing, and you guys also talked about it. But I have not been on that card since burn bear was basically spoiled, because it's probably my biggest fault as an Australia player. I just not managed to make glyph overlay work. It's just not for me. I don't know what's going on, but I just can't make it work.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just I've tried back to back triple glyph this there. See, does it feel good to block with it? But when it's like I have no sigils in my graveyard, I ended up arsenaling an etchings or something, draw the glyph overlay and a brilliance, and I'm just like, man, do I not want to shuffle this back in?
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
It's just been. I've probably just drawn like the bottom part of combos like a couple of times and just kind of been like miffed on it because I know it's good, which is why it's so confusing to me. How have I not managed to make this card work? But burn bear has been sweet for me.
Yeah. I'll left it the same role, and it's like it's a fun thing about burn bear that it doesn't shuffle the deck, so you get to do a lot of pitch stacking things and stuff like this in the long games again, but there is hardly ever need for that. But it's like a nice,
especially right now.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to add about burn bear though that you guys didn't talk about you and Kaisha didn't talk about.
Yeah.
Or is that the image?
That is the image of the triple burn bear hand, and this is the prism board after that. That is a little bit disgusting, but yeah. That's a nice jackpot there. The wrong way around. But yeah, go ahead about what we didn't discuss about glyph overlay or burn bear.
One important thing to note is just how we kind of consistently have a blue on demand with Flash of Brilliance, just picking up conductivity when you see you have a burn bear in hand. Which I think is a really nice thing.
No, that is very true, because it also the turns where you play burn bear, if you are allowed with the blue to play attacks and tick up Volsar, it gets even more disgusting. But now you have, if you don't have attacks for that, you have just the embodiment carrying over for next turn. So you're right about that one. You're really right about that one.
Because that also works out really well. If you're blocking a bunch, even if you do suboptimal blocks with like a blast or something, if you're just making embodiment firing of burn bear, now the embodiment is in play for next turn, opening up new lines, and it's just awesome. It feels so flexible, but it's so situational at the same time, and it's a lot of fun.
But anyways, let's go over the reds then. You had 3 Clong Breezes. That's the one that's sticking out to me. Nothing else really. Anything you want to talk about these reds?
Yeah, we just expected a lot of Syndra, Slippy, and Mario. Not that I like Calm Breeze into Mario, but I've tried it. It just doesn't feel completely right, I think. Usually it's just one attack, like the dagger and one attack, so it's just a little bit off. But denying the mark is usually good, but it's still hard to block out.
Yeah, and it's like half the time, because nowadays they mostly mark you like they flick straight up turn 0, turn 1. The first dagger off, so that they can always have the slot open when they draw the. Or some way they make the Chalichara token.
The draft creators, the.
Yeah, all that. So then, like, you need to draw Calming Breeze in your first hand, basically. And after that, they usually just try to keep the mark on with, like, attacking Hunter Clays for 5. So I moved to Snack for Sleepy, and Mario is good, and I play more D-Reacts for Mario and Sleepy, but Calming Breeze is still is a fine card, and it's especially good into, well, better into Syndra, and good into Vincent too, so it's a definitely good piece.
And Syndra was the most represented deck, so
yeah, makes sense.
It wasn't wrong, but I do wish I had looked into maybe acquiring some shelters, and especially the tech you guys have been talking about the Kappa quick thinking, because I have not been keeping up on that, and that just seemed like a really good, like, hearing you and Kaiser talk about it in your video just made so much sense. It's like, damn, this card is just kind of king, isn't it? Actually, huh?
Yeah, it's warping the whole matchup, allowing you to go second and all that stuff. I guess is really good. You should try it, definitely. Anything?
Go get one of those.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's like a $1 card, so we have the luxury of card market around here. So, anything else about these cards? These reds?
Yeah, I just shouldn't have been running Fry. Should have been running the hat, and the lightning presses up with the hat. Down 1 breeze is kind of where I wanted to. Wish I was, but it worked out. I can't exactly complain, but it worked out, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I see.
And CNC, right? I do wish I was on some CNCs, but
you don't have CNC.
I should have changed around. I did not have CNCs. It's not a card I have, but I could have borrowed some. So it's mostly just me being like, just stubborn because I don't have the cards. I'm not playing the cards, kind of deal. But
I get it. I get it. And I don't know, like CNC or some other popper, SLS is going off, so I'm maybe looking to go down on CNCs and maybe play Battle from Bastions rather, because they are the best poppers for Prism, right? So
yeah.
And now that I'm deploying like more D-Reacts, then I have less space to play like the CNCs into Assassins. So it's a little bit of a puzzle to mix and match, but I think just having any popper for that slot that fits as your purpose to tackle down the meta, it's totally fine.
But yeah, so that's pretty much the list. It's very standard. The 3-0 shocks.
Yeah, that was
also not completely normal, but I just really like shock. Even if you just go like blast, activate Tunic, pick up, cast a shock, pick up a conductivity, replay it. Like it's just good. Of course, it's much better with the new shock where you don't need to use the Tunic for it, but it's just a little bit of value in those more simplified positions.
Yeah, and sometimes just you have extra card that you would pitch anyways, or like floats around your hand anyways. So the pitch does not sometimes matter. But yeah, shocks are good.
Shock's good. Of course, probably one of the better cards in the mirror as well, I guess, but I haven't.
100%.
That one.
Yeah, 100%. Null Shock as the killer in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the list basically. I want to wrap up the tournament, how it went.
Yeah.
And then we can look at the games. We have 3 games, so that's nice.
Game 1 was against a Dio, which is immediately just very scary. He was on a COG build, so I have not played too much into that one.
Okay,
it's a little bit different. I assume it's more value-oriented. I'm not sure if it blocks better or worse, but I guess Dio doesn't block that well in the first place.
Yeah, it's that build seems to beat Fatigue better because it has like I have no clue what I'm talking about. Because it just basically they have the end game loop, but yeah.
Pretty sure I went from 30 to 17 in a turn.
Oof.
So that was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But then I just drew a very solid combo, and he made the classic blunder of blocking out Channel Lightning Valley. I was keeping around a Valley that I had. He knew I had one in Arsenal. I've been keeping it back and forth, and then I come in with Gone. He blocks 4. I bounce it back. I attack again. He now sees there's a Valley. I gotta block out this Gone, and he blocks it out. And I have a second Valley. And I come in again, and now he's panicking, you know, oh no, I need to block this. Blocks it out with his last 2 cards in hand. And then the last instant in my hand is just consigned to shock. So it's just shock for 1, draw 2. It's just 1 more instant. But this is and 2 wizard actions in hand at that point. But this is just enough to just basically outright kill him.
Yeah. Because now they have no cards in hand and you have a good tempo there.
Yeah. So, you know, that was rough. That was very
Take
rough.
a note, don't cut CLV. That's a good card.
Yeah, don't cut CLV. Hopefully it doesn't get banned when Aurora comes back.
Okay, guess that like reminded me, because you said about Burn Bear, that you know that the card is good when your opponent complains about it. And like,
Yeah.
CLV is probably the only card that my opponents usually check the gray for and try to play around for when they are in when the game is like in a very tight spot. So they just check the gray and they're like, oh, if you have this, well, can I play around it? And so then they play around it, and like I play like Sigil of Solace, and they're like, oh, well, now I lost value out of my hand, but it's a very good combat
it's just
card.
So notable. Making anything a snatch just doesn't feel right for the opponent.
Yeah.
But I had once when like my opponent was like, man, your combo turn was so good. I mean, you had like 2 CLVs, but like I drew an instant and like another wizard action off it, and like that other time I just started with the CLV there, like activate the Tunic Greaves CLV for the extra action point because I had etchings.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't necessarily do that much when they're just bouncing gone. Like if they don't draw the cards, it's just bouncing gone.
Yeah, that's true.
One card there because he knew how to block CLV, so
it's a lot more scarier for the opponent. But like also like you as a player don't really. That's why people want to cut it, because then they're like, oh, this is not doing anything much. Like if this was like Sigil of Solace, it would at least give me 3 in life and bounce gone. But you have to take into account both sides. So
we notice when it's bad, and they notice when it's good.
And almost always they complain when it comes to the board. They always complain.
But yeah, game 2 is against the Prism.
Oh.
And he goes first, and he does come. I managed to block out the first attack, and then he comes in with the second. I cycle my instant, hope I draw something to block with, and I should have just blocked out with my equipment. But that's hindsight. I was like, maybe I can turn this around still if I draw like decently. But I think I just played the matchup poorly. Like it was just kind of bad. I fell for a lot of things. He also came in with the dominate, and I tried to block it out. I was like, yes, good thing I kept my equipment around. And then he has to pump, and it's miserable. It's just like, oh, he just had it.
Yeah, well, that's the matchup. It's very swinging both ways.
Oh, and I also fell for because I'd never been in that position before. I blocked with a 4 when I tried to lightning press it, but it's against the attack that reduces it by 1, and I just don't think I've ever actually been in that specific position. So when he just goes fetches the -1 attack.
Yeah, the Figment of Triumph.
Yeah, and I go, right, no, that makes sense. And I basically got blown out back to back 3 times, and it it was over.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Just ended.
Yeah, that matchup you're not allowed really to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, so Burn Bear like hand 4 or something, and that was just too late. At this point, he has 2 angels attacking basically anyways, and yeah, no, it just spiraled out of control very quickly. Game 3 is probably the game I played the worst in the entire tournament.
That's what we are about to see soon.
Oh no! Oh, but it was also so fun. It was my first game against Riptide. I come from Yu-Gi-Oh! So the first thing I do, of course, is I win the die roll, and I don't read cards. So I tell him to go second, which is the biggest mistake I think I could have made.
There we see you reading. There we see you reading.
Yeah, I don't read. I don't know how that's done. I'm apparently just illiterate. But a good learning experience that you should read stuff even though you've especially when you've never played against it, and even sometimes if you have.
Yeah. I see.
But that game was just super close, and I barely managed to take it out. I make a lot of other mistakes throughout it that I was like, I didn't expect that he would have this card, and then I fire off a shock in the wrong sequence essentially, and fortunately I don't lose on that. But small mistakes to take with me onwards, but it was a lot of fun. The opponent was really chill and a nice guy as well. It was his first time basically piloting that Riptide build. He does play Riptide, but I think he played with a different bow, but I don't remember those names in my head.
Okay.
So yeah. But he also came in very aggressively on some turns. I was surprised. I did not think Riptide could do this. But yeah.
I think that's like their most replicable game plan into us. I guess just send their hand and try to disrupt with the traps, right? Like inertia traps and stuff like this. A battering bolt is a bitch. that card is.
Is that the one that creates any token? Or is
that battering bolt is the one that makes you discard all instants out of your hand, and you take damage based on how many instants you discard.
Oh damn! I don't think he saw that one. That I would have remembered.
Yeah. That's
unfortunate.
Costs 2 and hits for 6, I think.
I think he was more on a red line kind of thing, so he might not be playing it at all.
Yeah, I see.
I mean, you don't exactly expect to run into a lot of Vasilios in
your
nationals. Yeah, you should.
Real
going forward,
preach.
Best deck. People should respect it, but I mean, they're not going to respect it, which gives us the edge. So
yeah, sir. Even if they respect it, though, it's just I think we are fairly good at playing around opponents' respect. Of course, like it helps a lot that they understand the matchup better, in their side, and how the tempo goes in these matchups and all this. But even Gravy's taking Amulet of Echoes, which is like the worst of them all, it's still like fine. So I'm very happy about that one because I was very doomed about Amulet of Echoes, but turns out to not be that bad anymore. Fine. Should we go over then the rest of the rounds, or watch the round 3 right now?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a small nationals, so it was only 3 rounds of Swiss before 3 rounds of draft.
Yeah, okay.
So they're really... So if we want to keep talking about Asilio, it's straight to the top 8. If we want to talk about the draft quickly, we can do that.
You can go over the draft for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we wizards, we need to learn the draft, so please.
Yeah, we got it, because I thought I could draft. I did a lot of testing and practicing, and then apparently I just drafted like shit anyways, but it worked out. But I'll get to that. Very early in the actual draft, I pass up a couple of harpoons, and I'm okay, I've seen these go, and then I see a couple of other good Marlin cards. Marlin is probably the hero I've enjoyed playing the least and solved the least in testing.
Okay.
But I'm like, okay, this looks the most open. I've picked up this, I picked up that. I think I first picked a Jack card. And then quickly a Nimby afterwards, because my opening packs just weren't that interesting, and I think that's a really good card if you can get into it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the good cards coming through, and I'm thinking like kind of a red line Marlin with this early. I should be able to like kind of nab in there, and then the only nimbleisms I see is a blue and a yellow in pack 2. So some of my earliest picks just were completely wasted, which feels really bad, but that's just how it goes. Sometimes you hedge and you lose.
Yeah, it's because Nimbleism is like a really good card, so it's very contested, and it's unfortunate if you can't say it.
Yeah, but I would have taken a blue or a yellow in pack 3. There just were no Nimbleisms in pack 3 at all, and I think both the yellow and blue came relatively early in pack 2, so I took other good cards over it. But anyways, the big point is pack 1, I've passed these harpoons. I'm like, okay, someone further down the line, because I think I opened one and then immediately got sent one and passed it down the line. Someone on the other side of the table's got to be into Marlin as well, so there shouldn't be anyone next to me.
Yeah.
Those 2 harpoons went all the way around to the guy to my right. That should not happen.
Yeah, that's a little illegal.
I was like, there's no way the guy next to me is on Marlin. And then it turns out he is. We were 3 Marlins on that pod. So there was probably just a lot of very good Marlin cards going around in general. So it ended up being a little bit lopsided, because I noticed something was wrong. at certain points, and it just felt off. And I'd love to say, oh, I think the other players like drafted poorly or something, but I mean, I'm the one that says I drafted poorly, so I'm faulted it. So how can I say they're bad when they made mistakes when I'm the one that made the bigger mistakes? But yeah, game one of the drafts. But yeah, so I end up on a kind of a Marlin thing. But I try to do red line first game with the tap bow, just like put it in,
Red
get it
Spine
in the
Manta.
arsenal. Yes, Red Spine Manta. I'm bad with names that aren't in Australia lists, man. That's just how this goes.
Yeah.
And it just really doesn't work out. I'm against a friend of mine from the Sim locals up here in Stavanger. Shout outs to Daniel. And he kicks my ass. He was the only one on Puffin, I think, in that draft. So his deck was just better quality. And it's no competition. I think he's at like 17 or something when he takes it. So that one goes by badly for me. And I'm quite doom and gloom at this point. I'm like, man, I drafted poorly. This is going to be rough. But I change over to the other bow. And then I play some of the best Marlin I think I've ever played.
Nice. How many blues did you have?
Game 2.
How many? The blues.
I think I had 12.
Oh, okay.
So which is a little bit lower than I would have liked.
Yeah. It's the same than I had. I like 13, 14. It's about the spot I like.
Absolutely. I think 13, 14 is where you want to be. And you want to prioritize those blue block 3s as well.
Yes.
Slightly more value. I'm blocking for the gold is, of course, the entire sub-game of High Seas Limited. And I go into game 2. I'm against... shout-outs to Lucas as well. We've had our rivalry. During my road to Nationals, he was the only player I lost to, both in the Swiss and in the top 8 in the finals. So I wanted my revenge, but I wanted any classic constructed, so it's kind of bittersweet. He didn't really see too many allies, so I think he felt a bit miffed about that, which is understandable. I also kind of high rolled. I think I came in with my one blue harpoon for like 12 or 13, which that's not fair.
Yeah.
Overpowered 12 damage and limited. He blocked it for like 7 though, so it's like he had the answers. But it's still rough, and I kind of take it from there. And then game 3. Also here from Stavanger, another friend of mine who got hit by the guy I met in game 1, just won against him in game 2. So we're now on death's door, both of us. Whoever wins this has a chance to get into the top 8.
Yeah.
And he kind of hits it up really hard. He comes in with golden tipples, discards allies, plays a Swabby, plays a Rigor Mortis, and somehow I manage to deal with I just deal with everything. I come in for good damage. I think I have a turn for like 19. I send 5 at an ally, hit him for 14. The pressure is on. And
that
then
is disgusting.
Yeah, it just lined up. Apparently I'm better at drafting than I think I am, and apparently the deck was just nuts. It's either the deck was nuts or I'm nuts. I honestly like to prefer to think that I'm nuts, because I am still unhappy with the draft.
Yeah.
But it just worked out. And, it's bittersweet because I hate the fact that I beat him up because he's a friend, but, it's that's what games is. Kind of a thing.
Happens. Somebody has to win.
Somebody does have to win, and it was one hell of a game.
Yeah.
So, super happy about that. And come out of the draft, top 8 announcements. I'm 8th seed. So I'm in, obviously. As we all know.
Spoilers.
But it's like, in that moment, I think we were 6 people on 4-2. So it's 2 on 6-0, 2 on 5-1, and then 6 people like meshing it out on 4-2, and I'm 8th seed. So I barely snuck in there.
Yeah. You had like, if one of those people was 5-1 more, and you'd be out, that would be a sad day, but turned out to be good in your favor.
Absolutely. If I did not win game 1 in Swiss, I probably would not have made it into the top 8.
Yeah.
Whew.
But maybe you would be in,
yeah.
maybe it'd be in 5-1 after that because you get different pairs and different pots. Who knows?
That's also true. I could have just won both games in Swiss afterwards and then gone 3-0 in the pod 3 or something. But hey, that didn't happen. Card could be.
I mean,
other
good that
cards,
it didn't happen because you could not do better than this. So.
But yeah, and then I don't know how much I'm supposed to talk about. I haven't played against Riptide, and I see the game on my screen here, so I don't know if that's what you want to go straight into.
If you want to do this,
but that's what we're gonna watch.
I'm fine either way. Just do you want to wrap up how the top 8 went, or do we discuss the top 8 later?
I guess if we're just doing this and then individual videos of reviewing the VODs, it's probably better to just talk about this now, and then the people that want to watch the VODs can watch the VODs, and the people that just want to know how it went can just hear how it went.
I like that one. It's well structured, very professional. Go ahead.
Or well, I said the Riptide. The Riptide was, of course, game 3. I'm babbling I'm yapping the wrong way here.
Yeah.
Quarters is slippy, and it's probably I think it's some of the best Flesh and Blood I've played. I'm extremely happy.
Yeah, also your opponent is extremely fucking good.
Yeah, he is. He's fantastic. And there again with Peter, because we have another dynamic rivalry there. He came in here undefeated into the top 8. In Road to Nationals, he also came in undefeated, and I faced him off in the semis and slapped him around and booted him out again. So he came back for revenge this time, and it went my way again.
Yeah. This was by the way his first game that he lost during the tournament. His first and only game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was undefeated in Road to Nationals as well, as in these Nationals, and both times I snuck up and just kind of sucker punched it, which I do feel really bad about, but I hope I can just kind of be his bandit, and we can have some friendly rivalries going on there.
The rivalries are always fun and friendly. I think so.
He is such a great guy, and he's great at the game. Like, holy shit.
Yes.
Ugh. It is so much. So yeah, if you do want to watch the VODs and you're listening right now, please do watch the quarterfinals. I think that game, it should be incredible. I might just get flack. Maybe I played like garbage. Who knows? But I don't think so. I think it's genuinely great.
I trust that. And also it's versus Felipe. So everyone should learn that matchup, especially if you're going to PT. So that's a game to watch for and learn from.
Absolutely. Get as much info, what's it called? As many reference points as you can. It's just good.
Oh, I'm getting really excited here. Chills. Oh. Tell about the semis now. I want to watch this VODs like.
And then game 2, I'm against Daniel again from the draft. Tried to kick me out once, now he's trying to kick me out again.
Mm-hmm.
He's on Syndra, and it just kind of lopsidedly goes my way. I think he draws some pretty suboptimal hands, and his more optimal hands are just kind of met with me blocking.
Okay. Sounds good.
In basically every single round, I found Gone quite early, and I just kind of get value of, blocking out, Gone, instant, Arsenal, go ahead.
Gotta love
and
that.
It just kind of goes on. So I definitely had a lot of good luck in finding my Gons, but I mean, luck is a skill, and you do also need to be lucky to win tournaments. That's just how it goes. So it is unfortunately quite lopsided. Yeah. And then, so I take that one, go into the finals. It is against Afang, the previous national winner from last year. I believe, hopefully I'm not wrong about that, now that I'm committing to saying that on camera. And it's also just quite lopsided. And I take it. I honestly felt like a fraud at the moment, because it was just like, it just went through. Did I really win this? But
yeah, I get you. I get what you mean. Also, like the Fang player, if I'm not mistaken, is probably one of the best Boltons in the world.
Okay.
At least in, if I remember correctly, like, he was also playing Bolton before. Christopher Reyes, saying the name wrong probably, but yes.
Christopher Reyes sounds about perfectly fine if you're gonna say that. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. But I knew it was good. I didn't know he was. I don't know how good he is, but I knew it was good. That
Yeah,
is without a
it's
doubt.
either him or another person who has like similar name, but like regardless, obviously amazing player making it finals. So
Yeah.
yeah. But you know
Of
what?
course,
You know
sitting.
what is
Oh,
funny though? That just came into my mind when you were discussing about the Sintra game because I don't know. Do you know what happened in Sweden?
Syndra won that one,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
he?
it won that one, but
But
they
it was
the Australio misplayed because he activated Volsar without having this is the LDR activated Volsar without having sigil for free. Nobody didn't notice that until like round after when he won the game and they had already like packed up the things. So then he would either take IP2 for his next game and take the win or replay. And he said instantly like I want to replay, like competitive integrated, let's replay the game. And during the next game he realized that he had old knocker still up for that game. So he had the resource. So technically he had the win, but then he lost that game. But it would have been regardless, it would have been like awesome if all three only Australia wins on nationals would have been Norway, Sweden, Finland.
yeah,
That would have been kind
no
of
represent.
cool. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
oh, but
the
that's unfortunate,
yeah. But
man.
anyways, that's like side tangent. That would have been just cool. But this is about Norway now. Should we
Yep.
go into the games now? The bots? Do you have
Absolutely.
anything
We'll
else
just
to
hop
say?
in.
I think I
Uh,
cut the vid here because it's 37 minutes, and then we do the votes like one by one.
Wonderful. We'll
Do you
go
have
through it.
anything to say here? Anything you wanna?
The only thing I wanted to talk about is just how it is to sit in a tournament and get tired. Right. That was the only thing I was gonna point out. Like we sat down in the finals, we were super tired, and I can understand also going through a different tournament and being in a winning position and just being so tired you don't
Yeah,
notice. Hey,
yeah,
I don't have the sigil I thought I had in play, and
yeah.
it's probably not turn one against Syndra, so you kind of expect that conductivity is probably somewhere on
Yeah,
my field.
yeah.
But yeah, another thing that I'll round it off with there is that I'm also really happy with the tournament in general. I struggle with or started struggling with chronic migraine quite a while back. I'm on good medication now,
Yeah.
and in general, just how far the tournament went and everything else has just been a huge confidence boost for me. I didn't think I could compete, like beat my own chronic migraine, disease that much. So that's kind of just been incredible for me and myself. That's that I'd like to add.
Yeah,
But other than that,
100%. And there's probably like a lot. Like I'm not medical expert on anything, but like I do get migraines too because I have type 1 diabetes. So like in
yeah,
like long tournaments, you eat badly, you stress a lot, you drink badly, you think a lot with your brain, you get tired. There's like a lot of triggers for what can like trigger a migraine, and then it goes like really bad. So
yeah. So that's what I'll say as well.